The Mountaineers were 9-5 last year. They played in the Sun Belt Championship game, and they won the Cure Bowl. They opened their 2024 season on August 31st at home against East Tennessee State. They will be represented today by head coach Shawn and by student athletes Joey Aguilar, a senior quarterback from Antioch, California, and Kaedin Robinson, a redshirt senior wide receiver from Asheville, North Carolina. Coach, we're going to begin with opening remarks from Coach Clark, and then we'll take questions for Coach and the student athletes. Coach Clark?
Well, first and foremost, that was a great introduction song with the great Luke Combs, an App State alum. So thank you for playing that for us. On behalf of Chancellor Heather Norris and Director of Athletics Doug Gillen, we're excited to be here to represent App State and Sunbelt Media Days in New Orleans. Thank you, Commissioner Gill and the Sunbelt staff for putting a great event on the showcase. One of the top conferences in all of college football. I don't say group of five or power four. I say one of the top conferences in all of college football. We have a very determined group of players on our football team who are on a mission in 2024. We returned almost 70% of production on offense and defense, led by these two young men, Joey and Kaedin, who are with me today, who helped produce some of the best passing numbers in the country last fall. We have returning starters on both sides of the ball and on special teams. We're able to sign 15 players from the transfer portal to go along with our high school recruiting. As we navigate through the transfer portal, collectives, NIL deals, we continue to be innovative at Appalachian State and build a plan that works well for us. Our players, a lot of our players had big-time offers. They turned them down, come back to Boone and stay here and build a championship football team and have a chance for a berth in the college football playoffs. Thanks to the support from our campus, our athletic leadership, App State's in a great position to continue competing for championships, and we offer our players a world-class education. Additionally, season tickets are sold out for the third straight year, and individual games are already starting to sell out. Mountaineer fans have broken the all-time Sunbelt attendance record for 3 straight years, and I won't be surprised if they do it again this fall. Our stadium was recently named one of the top 25 in all of college football by ESPN, and we cannot thank our fans enough for being the best in college football. And just in general, our conference, and this is one of the premier conferences in all of college football. You talk about rivalries, and especially on the East. You go just to our schedule this year, the App State Marshall game is a longtime rivalry game that's back. It's played back in the Southern Conference days. The Georgia Southern game, that's one of the best rivalries in all of college football. Coastal Carolina, James Madison, Georgia State. So again, our side is very competitive, a lot of great rivalries. And again, it's going to be a great season. It's going to be a very competitive, very challenging, and we look forward to the 2024 season.
We'll now take questions from the floor. We ask those of you in attendance, please raise your hand for questions, and a microphone will be brought to you. And once again, for those of you joining us on Zoom, please remain on mute. Please type your questions into the chat, and we'll read them here in the room.
Luke Creasy with the Herald Dispatch. I already see you smiling. You talked about Marshall, and I know you have a good relationship with Coach Huff. And I hear you might have to give him a ride home.
Yeah, we're going to. Coach Huff has some travel issues coming down last night, and you think they have an aviation program, they would have a plane ready for him. But in saying that, I've offered to give Coach Huff a ride back after the media today. He better get finished early if he wants to ride back. We'll drop him off in Huntington.
Coach Dominic Crissetto, College Football Dogs and Sunbelt Syndicate. Previously, you've had many 1,000-yard rushers, but haven't had one over the last 2 seasons due to injuries and other factors. Do you expect a return to form as far as a 1,000-yard rusher being on your team, or with the weapons on stage, do you expect this to be a pretty even passing, rushing offense this year?
Well, we'd love to have a balanced football team, and it keeps the defense off balance, but we're going to play to our strengths. And again, we brought Joey and Kaedin Robinson, who are one of the best duos in all of college football last year. If you remember last year, I said we had the most underrated receivers in the Sun Belt, which I do believe we did last year. And our receivers have kept it improving. We have a big-time quarterback, a talented arm who makes great decisions. But on the flip side of those things, we have great tight ends with Eli Wilson and David Larka and Max Drag, and the list goes on and on. And we have a very deep running back with Kanye Roberts and Mikael Haywood, Anderson Castle, Armani Marshall. So there's only one football to go around, but we have to make sure we put the ball in our playmakers' hands. And that's one thing we identify as a staff throughout the offseason is who are our playmakers, how do we get the ball to him, and be intentional and be direct. It's how do we get the ball to Kaedin Robinson? How do we get to Christian Horn, Mekhi Jackson? And on the flip side, how are we going to get the ball to our running backs and tight ends? So I do believe we have a lot of weapons on offense, and we have to make sure we utilize those in the right way. And when it's time to get the ball in the playmakers' hands, we have to do that on a continuous basis this season.
Emmanuel Pepe, Sunbelt Conference, and this question is for Joey. You were an early enrollee last year. Talk about kind of how that helped your process in the off season of learning this offense, and just kind of talk about the luxury that Coach mentioned about having so much production back this year.
Yeah, I mean, coming in, definitely with like a spring ball coming in, it was good. Get to in the playbook a little earlier than I can, and for like fall camp and stuff like that. So just getting in the extra work with the receivers, tight ends, the coaches when I can, watch extra film when I first got there, and then the returning quarterbacks last year, that also helped me a lot. And like Coach said, I mean, having all those weapons is blessing on my part, just because I know whoever I give the ball to is going to go out there and make a play, whether it's a tight end, receiver, running back. So that part makes it easier on me.
Thomas Terry with KTSW Sports, to your right, I believe, yeah. This more so is aimed at Joey. You are, congratulations, first of all, being named preseason Offensive Player of the Year for the Sunbelt Conference. And your coach kind of talked about how he was able to go inside of the transfer portal, pick up 15 new players there, one of which being previous Texas quarterback Charles Wright. How much will he be able to help you just inside of your game progressing on to next season?
Well, I'll step up before that. Charles Wright's no longer on our football program. So, but he will not be with us this fall.
My apologies.
We got Billy Wiles from Southern Miss. He's really good.
Still.
Good guy, good player. Blue eyes.
Hey, Coach Craig Stevenson from AL.com. You experienced playoff football as a
Year.
player.
No, it doesn't happen for
Coach,
another 20
what do you
minutes.
think about the new setup? Is there anything you'd like to tweak
Yeah.
further in future years?
I like the setup. For 2 years, it gives us an opportunity to make a run at being the college football playoffs. And that's what you want, an opportunity. And the years previous, you had to be undefeated, be Power 5 program, et cetera. And you have to still have a great resume. But now whoever the highest ranked non-Power 5, Power 4 program has an opportunity to play in the college football playoffs. That's what you want. Again, our goal is always to win championships, the conference championship, bowl championship, and now it gives you another opportunity to make the college football playoffs. So it gives us a great opportunity. And again, we're playing in one of the best conferences in all of college football. Bless you. You all right? If you go back and look at things, I do believe our conference is set up for one of our teams in our conference to make a run and get a berth in the college football playoffs.
This one's to all three of you. You, Coach, alluded at the start to opportunities elsewhere for these two on stage and possibly others within your football program. So for the players, Kaedin, Joey, what helped keep you in Boone? And for the coach, you know, how much do you not enjoy having to deal with outside factors like that in this new world of college football now?
Well, I'll start it off. Again, we had several players who had offers or had been contacted by other programs to leave. And I do believe we have a great culture at Appalachian State. I think it started back in the 80s when Coach Moore was there. Myself and Coach Satterfield were able to continue that. I think we treated players the right way. I think we have the best interests of them. And they knew that we had unfinished business in 24. And they wanted to come back and put their name on the program, put a stamp to be conference champions. And so as the whole recruiting process, you're not just recruiting high school players anymore, you're recruiting your own roster. The day the championship game was over last year in Troy, we came back and we had exit meetings with our players. Every one of our players had exit meetings, and we say, where is it at? What can we do? How can we get this thing completed? We're part of our program. And then we came back after the spring semester, had our first team meeting, and we set the standard. This is our team. We won't hear anything more about transfer portals, NIL, et cetera. But it really just speaks to the players we recruit, the kind of character we have in our program. We have great kids in our program who have a lot of pride in wearing the black and gold. They want to put a great product on the field for our fans to be proud of.
And like Coach said, one of my biggest reasons coming back was unfinished business and just the community, fans, coaches, teammates at App State. I mean, Coach gave me the opportunity to come play at App State all the way from California. So I'm a firm believer of finishing what I started. So, I mean, I started at App State, so I'm gonna finish there. The goal is to, win everything we could win and finish off strong. So.
For me, Coach gave me an opportunity when I left Central Florida, and he didn't have to do that. I was in the portal with 1 catch, so I'm big on loyalty, and he gave me an opportunity, and I wouldn't be here in front of you guys if it wasn't for him. And there's no place like Boone, and it's home for me, and I love it. So that's why I stayed.
Coach, excuse me, Coach, got a question from Zoom. This is actually for all three of you. Your team won 5 in a row to close out the regular season last year. What was the biggest factor in getting on that winning streak, and how do you carry it forward into this year?
Yeah, that's a fair question. We were 3-4 in October and lost 4 games by 17 points. Either had the lead in the fourth quarter, had a chance to win in the fourth quarter. And I'm a firm believer. I knew we had a great football team. And sometimes the ball doesn't bounce your way sometimes. Sometimes things just happen. And we had the mantra after the Old Dominion game, we had the lead in the fourth quarter, lost, had a chance to win at the very end. And we're coming back on the plane and on the bus. That's a long bus ride. But anyways, and I said, man, how can I convey to our players, man, we're so close. All we got to do is keep working. And there was a picture of a mattock, some people call it a pickaxe, and said, just keep digging. People usually give up when they're right around the corner, when it's right there for success. And the next team meeting, I went and got the mattock and brought it there. I said, man, we're here. You just got to keep digging. And that just kind of took off. And we had come from behind, win against Southern Miss. And then, we played Marshall and then played James Madison. It's college game day in Harrisonburg there. And that was a big win for our program. Again, it's another win over a ranked opponent. And our kids started getting confidence. And we can say Joey played better, I coached better, Kaedin caught the ball better. But it just gave us some confidence. And you lose in the championship game, which we're never proud of, but we made it to the championship game and ended our season with a bowl championship. And that really jump-started our 2024 season.
Kaedin, Joey, what was the big factor last year?
I mean, I'd say as a team, we just decided what we wanted to end the season like. I mean, it could go good, like we ended, or it could go really bad. And we decided we wanted to be a winner, so we talked to ourselves what we had to do. And as a team, not even like coaches telling us, but we practice was more intense. I mean, everybody's going way harder than what we were. And then, like you said, we just had to keep digging and dig deeper and give more effort than what we were doing, because obviously what we were doing wasn't enough. So as a team, we just decided, and one of our saying at App State is always do more than what's expected as well. So extra work in the film room, extra work after lives, extra work after practice to get you that foot ahead of the game. And then when the game comes, it's just second nature.
Well, when Coach Clark came in there with the pickaxe, we all thought he was crazy, but but it worked. I mean, like Joey and Coach was saying, we just kept digging, and I think we just found our rhythm. I mean, we had like our leaders step up, and we had player-led meetings, and I think everybody just bought in, and we knew what we wanted to go get, and I think we finished off well, but we still got room for improvement.
Dello with the College Football Network. Kaedin, you were in the EA Sports College Football 25 trailer. How cool was that for you? And were you hearing from him from all over, from friends, family? How was that going?
Yeah, I was actually in New York at the time. It was surreal though. I woke up and I had like 20 missed calls, 1,000 notifications. I was like, what in the world's going on? And I opened my phone. That's the first thing I saw was me running down kickoff return on the EA Sports game trailer. Like, it was surreal, but yeah, it was really cool. Just to see App State in general, even if it was Joey or whoever, it was just cool to see us being featured in that trailer. And we had the longest clip for like the for the trailer, so it was cool.
I think it speaks for our program. You go back, we're one of 15 schools who are highlighted on EA Sports. And, now you go around the world, we are the Block A, people know who Appalachian State is. So, again, we're very proud of that. Again, 2 great ambassadors that are on that game. I'm not sure about their ratings because the speed rating's a lot higher than I expected for somebody on this stage. But But it's great. It's great for our players to actually play and benefit from a game like EA Sports has provided.
Coach, just talking about, you talked about obviously the portal and everything and being able to recruit from there as well, especially the offensive line. You have a couple of guys returning up front, but you hit the portal in particular in that spot as well. Just kind of evaluate what you saw in spring ball and through the offseason with that unit.
Well, that's like a double question in my opinion in some ways, because we knew that was coming with the offensive line, and we recruited at a high level at that position, and we usually lose 2 to 3 late in the recruiting process that go to what they say Power 5. I don't think there are better programs that we lose them to. They think the Power 5 is better. So we had to go out and be intentional of how we went with recruiting offensive linemen in the portal. So the programs we got players from, we knew the position coach or the head coach or someone on the staff. We want to make sure we knew what they were really about and were they App State players. And that's one thing you can miss sometimes. It's such a fast pace in the transfer portal. Once they go in the portal, you try to call them, get their transcripts, give them an official visit, get them to commit. Well, that doesn't always work out if you have the right people in your locker room. And there's one thing that we take a lot of pride in is the culture and the players we have in that locker room. So we're intentional about getting the right kind of people, the guy who fit our mold, our kind of players. But we have a lot to prove at that position. And this is the first time since I've been here at App. It's been 9 years. We haven't had one offensive lineman on the preseason all-conference board or list. And so that's going to be great when we go to that first team meeting. We'll walk in and challenge the offensive line. And I think that's good. But I'll mention on defense, I want to make sure I hit this through the portal. We really beefed up our defensive line. And last year, we were not good defending the run. We were good defending the pass and great in creating turnovers, but stopping the run was not our forte. So we had to go out and we've gotten bigger on the defensive line. We've got more athletic. Santana Hopper's had an unbelievable spring. Marcus Clark, Shawn Collins, who was hurt in the Marshall game, he had